What have you learned from your audience feedback? After gathering an array of audience feedback, we have learned that people's general opinions of this style of advert are as follows. Perfume adverts generally tell a story, although they are not always apparent and sometimes don't make obvious sense. These style adverts often have an element of mystery to them. When creating an advert, we try to keep in mind these points and stick to the conventions of perfume adverts as much as possible, while still making our adverts unique in some ways. When creating the adverts, we try to keep in mind the area of mystery and confusion which people express in our audience research. This enabled us to create an advert with an underlying storyline, however it is not necessarily apparent to the viewer what it is. This reinforced the idea of mystery in our adverts in the hopes that it would inject interest from audience members when watching the adverts. Once we showed other adverts, we gathered feedback on what we thought of it. The feedback was generally positive, and comments such as, "We have executed an advert which wouldn't look out of place compared to other perfume adverts," and "Your advert reinforces the conventions of stereotypical perfume adverts well." From this feedback, we learned that our advert has successfully managed to reinforce the conventions which we originally intended to include in our advert. Much of our feedback commented on the element of mystery that our advert had adopted. Despite this, there weren't many comments on challenging the conventions of the advert, which led us to believe our advert may be too similar to others and therefore easily forgettable. Based on this feedback, we then changed our adverts by adding a variety of different shots and effects, such as slow motion, to add new dimensions to the advert that were not previously there. We did this in the hope that it would separate our adverts from others of the same genre and make them more memorable for viewers by challenging some of the stereotypical conventions of typical perfume adverts. For example, by adding slow motion on our advert, we began to challenge the conventions of perfume adverts, which generally have fast-paced editing. If I were to carry out this project again, I would take more consideration to what people expect to see in these style adverts, what people would like to see done differently. From carrying out this research, I would then try to apply these to the adverts we created. This would allow us to create an advert which was completely audience responsive, while still being unique and memorable.